For more, I'm joined now by John Tamny. He's the editor of RealClearMarkets.com. It's a website covering stock markets and the global economy. Undoubtedly, all of this keeping you busy. Does Wall Street now factor in curve tweets from Trump into the equation, or does it still catch him off guard, do you think?
I think you just hit on it. I think at this point, he's crying wolf. It used to be that a tweet like this would have had markets convulsing simply because tariffs are such a bad thing for the stock market precisely because they're bad for the economy. But now notice the market reaction today was somewhat loud in the morning, but muted by the end of the day. Increasingly, investors realize that the stock market is exponentially more powerful than President Trump, and realistically is the most powerful force in the world if you move in the wrong direction. For anti-growth policies, which tariffs are, markets will correct you very quickly.
So if the markets aren't taking him seriously, should the Chinese?
My sense is that they're starting to realize that this is just what he does. President Trump likes to make noise. He likes to make big statements. But my sense is that inside the Chinese delegation, there's a realization that there's a lot of rhetoric, but there's not a lot of action. While Trump talks one way, he needs a good economy. If he can't run on a good economy, he cannot win in 2020. He also has a lot of advisors who tell him exactly that the economy is your ticket to a second term, and I think he probably realizes that.
Nathan King talking to Steve Mnuchin, you watched it with me. Anything you could read in that? I mean, he didn't want to answer the last question. We know that much. What are your takes on that?
Well, my sense is that Mnuchin's afraid of saying things, as are many in the Trump administration, because it's very easy to get caught on the wrong side of the president with all of these, with any comment. And so it's better to keep quiet. Donald Trump will say what he's going to say. Ultimately, there will be different negotiations behind the scenes. Trump will talk about a big victory, about getting tough. But the reality is, if you get tough on China, you are getting tough on the U.S. economy. The simple truth is, if China's economy is hurting, American companies are hurting, and vice versa.
China wants these tariffs gone. And it's interesting because this just came up with Canada and Mexico, where he's still keeping some tariffs in place. And Charles Grassley, who's a Republican senator from Iowa, was like, this deal is dead unless you lift these tariffs. Has he weaponized tariffs as a part of trade policy? I mean, is this what we're going to see in the future, or is this a blip in the road, would you say?
I hope not. I hope that Congress takes back what is plainly its power. A tariff is a tax, which means it's something that only Congress should be able to pass. That they handed over to presidents after the 1930s was a very major shame. Presidents should not have this much power to basically break up trading relationships that are results of infinite decisions taking place on a daily basis. This is so dangerous, but once again, to this I say thank goodness for the stock market, because President Trump, and I would say this to his credit, does not want to get on the wrong side of investors. He is gambling his presidency on a good stock market. If you move in the direction seriously of tariffs, the stock market's going to smack you back into reality.
Well, we'll be watching all of this. John, thanks so much for your analysis. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.